the 8th day in the month of May 2025. Good day to you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of State of the State. I am Sunday Kolaole. Today we will be asking a question, a very vital question on the mouth of many people in Nigeria, especially in the political arena. And the big question is Nigeria heading towards a one-party state? That's the big question that will be forming the basis of our conversation today. And joining me in the conversation is a lawyer and political analyst, barrister at law, Felix Alonge. Thank you so much for joining me on State of the State.
So thank you for having me.
Well, maybe we start from that question said as this.
Yeah.
Aren't you bothered that it's seeming that we are really drifting towards a one-party state in Nigeria with the gain of defections from opposition parties to the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in the recent times?
Thank you. The issue of Nigeria drifting to a one-party state, Nigeria should not entertain any fear, because what is actually happening today with the gale of defection is not new as far as Nigerian politics is concerned. It happened during the period of President Obasanjo, in which so many states were rushing to the PDP. But with the realization that, how politics was being played at that particular time was to the detriment of Nigerians. What actually happened is that certain gladiators who were so committed in ensuring that Nigeria did not become a one-party state, they woke up from their slumber, and there was alignment and realignment of forces across board, and they showed commitment to show dedication. And that one now brought the APC that is in government today, trying to have a coalition leading to the formation of a new political party to be able to struggle for power and take the amount of leadership from the PDP at that particular time. And this is a call to duty, particularly to the PDP and other opposition parties, that for the interest of Nigerians, they should show commitment, they should show patriotism. If they feel that, APC at this particular material is a threat to their own interests, they should try as much as possible to make sure that, let national interest prevail in the pursuit of seeking for power as far as Nigeria is concerned.
3 points that I'd like to quickly call your attention to in your own submission. You said the way politics was being played at that time, some people felt it was to the detriment of Nigerians. Yes. And I ask you, the way politics is now being played, is it to the interest and advantage of Nigerians, or at the detriment indeed of democracy in Nigeria, no matter how nascent it still looks?
Let me tell you, when you talk in terms of democracy, that word is very elusive.
In the Nigerian experience?
Even generally across the world, it depends on the perspective you look at democracy. When you talk in terms of democracy is talking about the enjoyment of the greatest number of the populace. That is the essence of democracy. And the way democracy comes about, it depends on the mindset and the aspiration and the vision of the people within a political community.
Simply put, is politics currently being played in the interest of Nigerians or at their detriment?
For now,
I need to answer that question as a political scientist, not as a member of the APC.
Not as a member of the APC, as a political scientist. What I can say at this material, don't use the concept of democracy in the Western world in relation to how it is being played in Africa, or particularly in Nigeria today.
Is politics as being played now in the interest of Nigerians? Are you sure Nigerians are really better off the way politics is going to be played?
The issue of betterment, or whether Nigerians are actually getting the dividend of democracy at this particular time in point, please let us look back what has actually happened in the West. As far as I'm concerned, we are getting the dividend of democracy as far as this government is concerned.
Politics currently being played in the interest of Nigerians or their detriment?
Just because society people are defecting to APC, I don't say there's no democracy.
I'm only asking you if you feel it is in the interest of Nigerians.
This is in the interest of Nigerians.
How is it in the interest of Nigerians?
It's in the interest of Nigerians because they want to join the train to be part of the success story as far as Tinubu government is concerned, because they are seeing the benefit of governance under this leadership.
Can you reel off those success stories?
Let me tell you,
we knew what actually happened. Nigerians. They like to know what exactly has been
all of us know about economic situation before they came on board. We know the issue of security before they came on board. We are not saying everything is Eldorado as far as economic aspect is concerned. We are not saying everything is Eldorado as far as the issue of security is concerned. The threat of security and economic problems is a worldwide thing as far as the world is concerned.
Let's hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You've touched economy, you've touched security.
Yeah.
Leave Eldorado. I'm sure that there's no Eldorado anywhere except maybe in the celestial cities or whatever it is, as many people in spiritism believe. I am asking you, if Nigerians really are better off economically, they are better off security-wise, and you feel that the way politics, which leads into governance in any case, is being played, is in the interest of the masses?
We are on the path of economic prosperity.
How?
We are on the path of, let me tell you, when we look back, what actually transpired in the past and the efforts of this present administration, particularly at the federal level and the state level, you know that, Nigeria will only need patience and sacrifices to make sure that this country belongs to all of us, and let us make the sacrifice for better tomorrow. Let me tell you, of all this, across the 36 states of the Federation, you see the way people in each of those states are actually eulogizing their governors as actually performing and delivering the dividends of democracy. If people in Ondo State, in Oyo State, in Taraba State, in Cross River State are actually appreciating their governors doing very well. So in the summation of the whole thing means that, this government generally is also what is doing well. So that when you talk in terms of issue of democracy, don't let us follow the concept it is because the majority is voting. It's not the issue of the perspective of voting, but what are the efforts of the government towards ensuring that there are problems as of today, but tomorrow all the efforts of the government with all the various programs and policies that tomorrow is going to be better for Nigerians. And thank God, as far as Nigeria is concerned today, government, corporations and individuals are all making efforts for this country to move ahead. And if you could listen to what the governor of Delta State said, that stated his defection, the whole structure of the PDP in a particular state. The senator, the governor, the senator, the rep member, the House of Assembly member, the chairman of the party, down to the ward level, defected Emans because that, they have seen what President Bola Ahmed is doing for this nation, Nigeria. And because of that, they want to be part of the social story and also share out of the goodies of this administration. So that they don't want to be operating from outside. They want to be within the inside because they want to share out of the purpose of Nigerian project.
I'll be more comfortable to really interview you as a political scientist and not a politician, and especially not a member of the APC. Yeah, I like to just know your view, unbiased, professional view on this matter.
Yes,
the Delta story, for instance.
Yeah.
How sure are you, irrespective of the submission of the defectors, that their defection was actually based on perhaps love for Tinubu administration or the success stories that you call them, and not their 2027 aspirations that's driven them into the ruling party?
Section 40 of Net Constitution as amended says that Nigerian citizens are free to associate and at the same time be member of any organization or political party for the purpose of promoting their interests. Mm-hmm. So that if an individual has decided to join the political party and at the same time is being voted for, he has a mandate to the people whom he is representing to make sure that all his campaign promises are fulfilled, and not discover that it's okay, the party through which the platform he has used to be elected is not actually assisting him to ensure that his people get dividends of democracy. And there's another party that is not discriminatory. See the way the federal government is allocating resources and other things without political coloration, whether this state belongs to PDP or belongs to a party. Every state is having its own fair share of the national peak as per allocation and other federal government projects and other appointments. I don't feel that at this particular time, so let us find a way of having a united force to support the president for the purpose of having a better Nigerian. And that was the basis of what has actually influenced what actually happened in that Delta State. And two, the issue of defection.
Is the 2027?
No. If you look at the provision for defection, that defection can only see the light of the day in the court or being made legally on the basis that there's a division that affects the national structure of the party, that is the national leadership of the party. On the basis of that, an elected member, either in the position of the governor or the senator or rep member of House of Assembly, is at liberty to defect. And the other condition is that if you belong to a faction of a political party, and your party has defected to another party, that you have merged another political party, you are at liberty to do what? To defect to the party of your choice. But as far as we are concerned, PDP is having a serious problem. MPP is also having a serious problem. Labour Party is also having a serious problem at the national level of their parties. On the basis of that, elected members and members of the party are legally free to belong to any of the party they feel that their interest, either personal interest or their own public interest will be satisfied. But what I'm actually saying in fact is that all these sort of things that the fact that Nigeria like to become a one-party state, it's not going to.
Of course, we're coming to the
Nigeria cannot become a one-party state.
We're coming to the crux of the matter, but I've asked the question, and if I deduce appropriately from your response, you have categorically said that it is the 2027 aspirations of the defectors in Delta State that drove them into the ruling party.
No, I'm not emphatically saying that. What I'm not saying that.
You are saying that, I'm not emphatically saying that.
So what I'm saying now is that the government.
No, that was the answer you gave.
No. I'm not saying it has nothing to do.
You have only come up to talk about the freedom of association.
So I'm not saying that
with any political party to drive the aspirations as provided for in Section 40.
It's just like a father who is not performing his expected role within the family, and the children decide to find their way.
I'm not faulting your response.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that your response.
It's not for political survival. No. It's not political survival. It's not for the issue of political survival. Anytime, any day, and even in Delta State, even if the governor still remains as PDP, come 2027, he will still win the governorship election because the man is performing. We need the result of the governorship election that brought the governor into power. The man is working hard.
Okay, your party is just saying that now.
No, at any point in time, as far as Delta State is concerned, everybody is always eulogizing the governor of Delta State as performing. Just like Akwa Ibom State governor, it's also doing fantastically well. There's no parochialism or being.
He's doing well because he has also hinged at possibility of coming to the party.
That is at the level of the state.
No, I'm asking
the governor is
that why you are assessing him as
No. The governor the president is saying his good work, and at the same time he's also appreciating the president for giving them their own fair share of the national resources for the purpose of performing. Unlike what Obasanjo did at that particular time to deny a particular state governor and the state of their allocated their own allocation for almost 3 years. It was purely political reason because we knew what actually happened. We knew what actually happened in the whole of the Southwest at that particular time when the election was conducted. The election was based on politics of their policy at that particular time. When the PDP took over virtually of the Southwest at that particular time, using the state and other manipulations. At that particular period, but this particular time, the system and the approaches and methodology of APC now is methodical and lawful and legal in the process of recruiting new membership into the party. As far as we are concerned, what is happening today now?
Now we're getting to the point. Senator Adolphus Wabara, Sharon BOT of the PDP,
Yes.
has said something that's very instructive to the APC. He did say that very soon the APC is not careful to experience an explosion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you agree it will really happen very soon. And he did say something that the loyal member of the party who have always stayed with the party will be displaced by the defectors, and which would also cause disaffection in the party. So don't you have the fear that indeed these gale of defections would very soon cause implosion in your party?
Ordinarily, your assertion is
not my assertion. I've only quoted someone.
what I said. It's a statement of fact, generally, which is applicable to any political association or a particular group. When you have new members, those that are newly joined, their own perception, their own orientation may be quite different from those that are already there. But what for the survival of the party and for the party to continue to be in government and for the party, that is the APC, not to be discriminatory, is to allow for a level playing ground for existing members and new members.
A level playground.
A level playground for all the members of the party. On the basis of that, the party will survive it. And that was what happened to PDP. PDP had 24 states at a particular, I don't know about your period. But today, APC is only 22. And Nigeria, people are saying, oh, Nigeria is drifting to one party state. No, Nigeria is not drifting towards one party state. It's just a palpable fear on the minds of Nigerians or the PDP that what, APC, forgetting that they did worse when they were in power at that particular period. But the approach that APC is using today is strategy of mobilization and sensation of Nigerians or other party members. Please come and join our vote. See what is actually happening in Kano. The minister, Concoso is about joining the APC again, as reported in the news media. But the particular minister maybe is not actually comfortable with it. But the Gambia is not saying that the more the merrier. Let us allow Nigerians to come in. So that in the next election for one survivor, particularly the APC, there must be a clear-cut level playground. There should be no political godfather of manipulation. Let's have the best candidates.
How will that happen when the APC has poached the key members of all political parties into its fold?
That's what I'm saying. So that whether you have spent 10, 30 years in APC, or you have spent 1 year in APC, or you have spent 5 years in APC, as long as you are a member of APC, whoever want to contest for any elected position, the person should be allowed. As long as that particular person is able to fulfill all the conditions that are precedent for that particular person to contest for that particular position.
Senator Veomagege,
yes,
and Governor Ovore, between those two, who is the leader of the APC in the state?
You know, it is not, there is no convention as far as the leadership of any party is concerned, but APC has generally on the aggregate, whoever is the governor is the leader of the party in that particular state. And even the Minister of Aviation that has subscribed to the leadership of the governor of Edo State, of Delta State, as the leader of the party. This is a known fact. We don't need to quarrel all those things. And Omar Gege is also extremely happy. He was part of the people who welcomed the governor to the APC.
Did you read his statement welcoming him into the APC? Did you read his statement?
That is.
Did you see the signature at the end of that letter?
Let me tell you, that is part of.
In which he addressed himself as the leader of the APC in Delta State.
No, politics is about Joe. It is about agreeing and disagreeing.
So they are still disagreeing?
You know, the leadership of the party.
Are they still disagreeing in Delta APC?
There's no disagreement as far as leadership of APC is concerned in Delta State and like any other state, because we have very strong leadership as far as APC is concerned at the national level and even at the various state levels. So that this time around, for the sustenance of Nigerian democracy, for the sustenance of these good efforts of Mr. President, APC, individual members of APC must as much as possible to jettison their personal interest for the betterment of Nigerians. And that is the only way that APC can survive this gale of defection to the party, so that the interest of this nation, the interest of the party must be paramount as against individual personal interests. With that, APC will forge ahead. But for me as a person, I don't foresee issue of one party state coming on board. But rather, I will subscribe to the idea that let the other opposition parties, led by the PDP or the Labour Party or SDP, join forces together to have a formidable two-party structure, not even two-party system, because two-party system is quite different from two-party structure, as done by President Babangida at that particular time. We have NRC and we have the SDP at that particular time, and the two parties were identically oriented. SDP was to the left of the center, and NRC was to the left of in the political ideology. That is, one is capitalist to some extent, one is socialist to some extent.
And
So,
that's to be said of the current
and if you,
parties.
so that what I'm saying, that the constitution has to be amended, and for any party to be registered to be a formidable party, you must have an ideological orientation. Are you going to be left of center or right of center? So that, oh, a little capitalism joined with social philosophy, a little socialism joined with socialism, so that you not be total capitalism or total zombie. Because as far as Nigeria is concerned now, we don't have ideology that serves as orientation or ideas for members to decide, oh, this is the party I want to belong to. If you have a party that's, oh, a little of socialism, a little of capitalism, generally workers want to belong to a socialist party. That it may not be named as socialist party, but the ideological philosophy, ideological orientation will drive the membership. But as of today, what drives membership to join political parties is the number of members in that particular party and the possibility of having the majority votes. And that is the problem we're having in Nigeria today. So that we should forget the issue of, let the party be like what is happening in US. We have you have the Democratic Party, you have the Republican Party, and now the Republican he has element of capitalism in him. And an average person who is a Democrat has issue of labor tendencies towards being socialist oriented or democratic oriented, taking into consideration the interests of the middle class. But unfortunately, as far as the Nigerian politics is concerned, as far as the economy of Nigeria is concerned, there are too much middle class. The poor and inclusive of the vulnerable versus the super rich. The system has eliminated the middle class, and that is the threat to our democracy. But as far as our leaders are concerned, efforts should be made towards amending the constitution, because there are a lot of fault lines that have divided us. Geography, north and south. We have regionalism that also divided us into three. We also have ethnicism that also divided us. Also, we even have religion bigotry. But if we have like what the effort of Babangida at that particular time, let us revisit option A4. Let's go back to a two-party structure, not two-party system, because two-party systems still admit the existence of other minor parties. Though they are not capable of winning elections, they always represent some local interests. So that under a two-party system, a particular party may always may operate within a local government area alone. It will not contest the election, just local government election. And it's happening in the US, it's happening in the UK. If you go back to that, there will be unity of purpose, and this country will have a solid political base. Now, because, like what Nkrumah said, seek ye first the political kingdom, and other things shall follow it. As long as you are not getting it right in political recruitment, forget it. It will be difficult for us to get to the promised land, economic prosperity.
Well, the assertion or assessment, rather, the assessment of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan is that this current happening in the political system is a backdoor one-party state.
Yes.
And he's saying that that is dangerous for Nigeria.
Correct.
In fact, he's even saying that any attempt to create one-party state is detrimental to Nigeria. So, Isn't this really a backdoor way of bringing Nigeria into one party state?
And even as a matter of fact, I give credit to President Goodluck Jonathan for coming up boldly to issue that statement, because it is a threat for our survival, not only democracy but economic prosperity of this nation, for us to have a one-party state. It will not be good for us. And he said, if Nigerians decide to go for one-party state, it will be a collective assignment. It must be planned methodically. We must sit down and agree, so that, oh, Nigerians, we are going for one-party state, but we will sit down so that the best of the best at the local government level, world level, at state level, will be brought on board to direct the political shape of this country. And that is the only way it will subscribe to a one-party state. Like what happened in Kenya. Kenya before 1981 was a one-party state. No, it was a multi-party state. Before 1981 was a multi-party state. But 81 to 1991, it became a one-party state. And they witnessed the negative aspect of one-party state: corruption, oppression, dictatorship, tyranny, and suppression of the fundamental human rights of the Kenyans. And on the basis of that, 1991, they not went back to multi-party system.
Isn't that an indication of a badly planned migration from one system of politics into another? For instance, Tanzania. I'm talking about Tanzania. It's practice one-party system, yes, in a well-planned manner.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
we have the one-party system. We have in Togo, we have the country. Yes.
But that was well-planned,
yes,
and not accidental, as many have also described the current happenings in the Nigerian political system.
Yes.
Isn't this really going to lead Nigeria into a political accident?
So, you are right. But what I'm trying to say that, like in China, Togo, like Tanzania was mentioned, they are one-party states. But what they do, what they have done, was that it was a collective decision. It was well planned. But as far as Nigeria is concerned, a lot of differences, the fault lines are so conspicuous that there is no way a one-party state can suffice as far as Nigeria is concerned. It will not work, because we are so much sophisticated in terms of education. We are so much enlightened. But at this material time, the civil society as organization must rise up to the occasion to play their own role, to serve as check to the government. And at the same time, the pressure groups must also come on board to make sure that they act as check on government. If Nigeria is going to one-party state, for me as a person, I don't subscribe to one-party state, because it will not survive. Because, like Kenya that tried it, Kenya is a small country, and it's not, the polarization in Kenya is not as complex as that of Nigeria. But as far as I'm concerned, we'll have, maybe let's work towards going back to the recommendation and the practice that Babangida gave us at that particular time, that is a two-party structure. Let's agree from day one, because it can still be amended. And if we are not going for that, if we are still going for a two-party system in which we have two major parties, and each of the two major parties is capable of winning or losing election to each other at any point of election time, while the minor parties will only exist to take care of local interests. But if I go for two-party system on that basis, a particular party, for it to be registered, must have membership and secretariat in no less than 2/3 of the state of the federation. If you have the president be visible in 26 states, in 24 states out of 36, with FCT in Abuja, they will be able to galvanize the energy for the purpose of winning, and it will be a serious threat so that no party will be regionally based or ethnically based again. If you have a two-party system.
You are agreeing that people make up political parties.
Yeah, if people make up political parties, but the constitution is the
on its own.
Let me tell you.
And so, whatever affects the individual will eventually affect the individuals coming together from the political parties. Now, in the case of economic downturn, in the case of many other considerations that are not making personal economic capacity to thrive, do you think your recommendation can really work in the present day Nigeria?
Let me tell you, what I've said is that, let me tell you.
You want smaller parties to organize themselves? You want them to register and they have offices all around, when indeed they cannot, even individual members can barely feed.
Well, let me tell you, those of us who are Christians that make use of divine, the Muslims that make use of the Quran, that guide their moral conduct. The same thing, if the constitution regulates your political conduct, you will fall in line. And where parties are not surviving or sufficing in Nigeria is the fact that most members, they don't even know the party they belong. They don't even know their deeds. They don't know the programs. They don't know the vision. They don't know the philosophy. And are they even paying party due to the cover of the party to run the party? Party is supposed to be run and financed by party members. But is it done in Nigeria? No. You even discover that sometimes when candidates are nominated for election, you discover that it is the party in most cases that also pay for their nomination forms. Ordinarily, it's not supposed to be like that. At the ward level, every party member, like as was done during the Awolowo's era, you have to contribute your party due. If you don't contribute your party due, you cannot get any position and you cannot vote during party meeting. If that one is brought into beer, there will be sufficient money to run the party. Even if it is 200 naira every month, be contributed by every member of APC or PDP or SDP or Labour Party. The party will be run successfully. One, any party to be registered must be articulately oriented. Two, membership and secretariat must exist in not less than 2/3 of the state of the federation. And every member must be a financial member of that particular party. And the structure must be at the national level, state level, local government level, down to world level. You discover that the two parties will be so strong, and any party that's in government, that's the ruling party, you have to be very, very, very careful, because the electorate have alternate party to vote in the next election. That will serve as a serious check on whoever is the president or whichever party that is controlling the machinery of government in such a state. And we need to go back to that. We must settle the issue of political recruitment first in this country. Otherwise, all the efforts of government as far as issue of security, issue of economy, it will not work. You just discover that everybody wants to contest election because this is the way of making money. Because the salaries and allowances are more or less sufficient. That your colleagues graduated together in the university. You are civil servant on level 8, and this other person is fortunate to be elected as a member of House of Assembly. Within 1 or 2 months, discover that it's now riding a big car. The next 6 months, building a house. And it's not supposed to be like that. Ordinarily, whether you are in the House of Assembly, your salary should not be more than somebody who is also a worker. You only need to get allowance. The base salary should be the same. Why should the senator earn more than the professor? It's not supposed to be like that. I will not go to the same market. The political positions have been made too much lucrative, and that is why the rat race for everybody to want to contest and control and use all manipulation to make sure that they are elected or get to position at all costs. There are no commitment to public interest. There are no commitment to ensure that the progress of the country. And
where do we go from here if Nigeria was really not drift to one party system or one party state, so to say? Especially looking at the way and manner people now find it difficult to stay in the opposition. They just want to be in the mainstream politics. They just want to be in the ruling party at all costs. It's something that late Governor Rotimi did foresee and cried against in his lifetime. So, don't you think there should be a way out of this?
Yes, there's a practical way towards doing such a thing that the year doesn't become a one-party state. A man that God has used for this country and who is the president witnessed the same fate, and he worked seriously, he worked very hard to mobilize other parties and other members. He came from Lagos State under the AD, only one state, and later moved to the southwest, and they had to network across board to the other oppositions, bringing the CPC, bringing the MPP, and bringing part of ABGA and ACN to form a formidable opposition to the PDP. And APC now became a viable opposition to PDP when PDP was in power, and APC was able to wrestle power from the PDP. You know, PDP was bragging at that particular time, oh, we are going to spend 60 years at least in government. But at the end of the day, the ruling party was thrown out of government. Since they have been thrown out, people are finding it difficult to get its act together. And what we need to do to foreclose the issue of one-party state coming, the opposition parties must find a way of regrouping themselves. Even some people, APC members who feel that they are not getting what they are supposed to get, they can say join ship and go to other parties. And those in the opposition party has rather been done now, they can also align with APC. That will cross along the line to have formidable two-party system.
So you're tagging what the PDP said then as political arrogance, so to say, and now
the PDP has displayed more political arrogance more than what is happening now.
Your party is now in the ruling arena. It's not now the ruling party. And
we are doing everything in the we are doing something.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Don't you think that it's not everybody that has this political affiliation to either one political party or the other? There are many Nigerians who are just on their own, and then if there is indeed free, fair, credible election in Nigeria tomorrow, do you think the APC also will be thrown out by Nigerians?
Let me tell you something. Don't let us follow the propaganda of the elites.
I'm asking you a question.
I'm telling you, don't let us follow the propaganda of the elites who are manipulating the social media, who are manipulating information all over. Ordinary Nigerians in the various villages, they appreciate this present government because they know where Nigeria was coming from and what is the situation of today. As far as Nigeria is concerned, we are not saying every Nigerian should be a member of a political party. At least we have about close to 5 million people in Ondo State. At least from the register of APC, I don't think maybe maximally maybe 1 million people. But that 1 million members, what are their commitment for the survival and to the success of APC? That is fundamental. What is their contribution to the party? How strong is the leadership structure at the state level and at the national level and at the local government level? Are we bringing in competent hands into various positions? And that is what we need to do. And that's what we call democracy. That is allowing for the free choice of the people. And you know, it is only the candidates that are being brought on board or being nominated that can be voted for by the electorate, by the voters. That is party primaries. It is election within the party, in which voters do not have choice concerning the candidate to be nominated because they are not qualified to vote at the party primaries. But within the party, whether APC or PDP or Labour Party, for the interest of Nigerians, they should try as much as possible to bring about the best hands. Let us allow for level playground for the interest of Nigeria. You discover that, and at the same time, try as much as possible to reduce the issue of monetizing the process. The cost of contesting is too expensive as far as Nigeria is concerned. All those things should be regulated, should be legislated upon, so that this is and maybe for the House of Assembly, this is how much you can pay across all the parties. Not that APC will have to give its own cost of nomination forms, the PD have to give its own, Labour Party have to give its own. No, it should be regulated. If all those things are regulated, those that are good, and the process of nominating them, let it be fair to those who want to contest for election. With that, Nigeria will become a better place, because Nigeria is the gateway for Africa to the world. Like South Africa said recently, they go everywhere and they belong to where Nigeria belongs, because they know that Nigeria has all the potential, the resources, the person and everything that can make this country great and Africa continue to be great. I was telling a group of students this morning that as far as I'm concerned, God is in this country, and Nigeria is a good society, it's a good country. Yes, we only need to join together to build this country.
One, two scientists, lawyer, thank you so much for your very, very deep opinion on the issues we've raised today. You have the view that Nigeria is really not drifting to one party system.
Nigeria cannot drift to one party system.
And you have also analyzed the reasons to feel.
Yes, and I'm begging the opposition to galvanize their resources and mobilize, so that will not allow APC to be more credible and to perform more than what they are doing now.
Finally, on the final, do you think if APC is not having access to, or if it's not the ruling party as it is currently, and then things are the way they are, do you think the APC will be accepted to people?
Let me tell you, APC faced worse situation before they came into power, but certain people made sacrifices for better tomorrow for the APC, and today APC is best for it. And that was telling the opposition, let them make sacrifices. Tinubu makes a lot of sacrifices. We are not talking in terms of resources alone, but we are talking in terms of your commitment, your sacrifices for tomorrow. You know, when he said, oh, it is my turn, you understand what he was saying at that particular time, that he had made sufficient sacrifice for the survival, because he had recruited a lot of people to be president of this country, and on the basis of that, it's okay, he needs to take a reward for his own efforts. So that we are begging the other parties, we are begging the opposition parties, we are also appealing to Nigerians to make sure that, oh, let us cooperate with this government, and let us also have credible opposition parties that will be able to checkmate, because the suggestions, recommendations of the opposition is always very, very critical. Sometimes the ruling party will, oh, I don't accept this thing, but they will still go back and do what the opposition has said, but for the interest and the survival of the country. And that's why, as far as Nigeria is a very large country, a large democracy, but the concept, let me tell you, we can have democracy more, even in a one-party state, than even a multi-party system. What we call the type of democracy is the enjoyment of the greatest number of the population, the populace, not the type of the political system that is being operated. Kenya today, are they not living well? Togo, are they not doing well? India, are they not doing well? All those countries that are, Russia, see the war that is happening in Russia, they are so committed to Putin.
Thank you so much for
Nigeria will make it.
Of course, I was optimistic as a picture of Nigeria that Nigeria will continue to progress. Thank you so much for your time.
I really appreciate you for having me.
It's been roughly 50 minutes of conversations on the progress of Nigeria, and of course we've looked at many issues bordering on the political system that Nigeria currently operates, as well as the agitations, the concerns of many people that Nigeria might roughly be drifting into one-party state, owing to the recent defections that's eating political parties going into the ruling operates Congress APC. I thank you so much for being a part of the show. Of course, it returns on Thursday, that's next week, God willing. I am Sonny Kolawole. Listen to it.